and I know you two gentlemen were here for that. It contains our state-of-the-art AI facility, houses our cybersecurity application studio, networking lab, robotics lab, and our metaverse studio. I hope that you have the opportunity to walk through the first floor of the building 6 because it is truly an amazing, amazing new building. The monthly scholars meetup is designed, I know, to strengthen scholarly pride, campus pride, and program pride across MDC. It is a place where your voice matters, your stories inspire, and your achievements are recognized. Today, we come together to reflect on our journeys, to support one another, and to continue to build a community rooted in purpose and possibility. I encourage you to take full advantage of this time, share your experiences, learn from your peers, and engage in the opportunity ahead. This monthly spotlight reminds us that excellence lives among us, and each of you has the potential to be the source of inspiration for others. Thank you for your commitment to your goals and to each other and to Miami-Dade College. We are proud of you, and we're excited to see all that you accomplish. And we're also excited to see you all on April 21st. Welcome to the Kendall campus. The space is yours. Enjoy it. Thank
you. Thank you, Dr. Stu, for the warm welcome. And I'm happy to be at Kendall. I'm excited to see, just Ripple and myself was here earlier looking out and we're like, wow, pickleball, tennis.
This might be the best view on campus. It really is amazing.
Very inspiring and very inspiring as we wrap up the term. So, yeah, we're ready.
Yes, sir.
So before I bring you up, I want to welcome Scholar Genesis Mira to formally introduce our guest for the day, Anthony Valenzuela. He's getting it in. I could prove scholar.
Never happened, right?
That
you gotta find a life.
Document
They gotta document it. Very good.
Yes, and we should get a group picture.
Before we head to it, we're going to the softball game now.
Should we do it now?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes, let's do it. So yeah. So those of you online, we'll just bear with us. We're gonna get a group picture. I think right outside is best. Yes.
On the stairs?
We don't take a picture, it didn't happen.
Did we add, I saw Marianne in the store.
Mr. Murphy, can you high five me on the board?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Hey, good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Okay. Don't leave. Kelsey,
right.
don't leave. Pass, Angel.
We're gonna cry though.
Yeah. Don't cry. This should just be about 2 minutes or less.
You guys are right here.
Oh.
Maybe us for. There.
They don't know what you mean. Good job.
We're back.
Too long, that's right. No.
Fine, you should join.
All right, so that didn't take too long. And so we're back. Hopefully we'll figure out a way to get a screenshot of you all live and use the picture. But I'm gonna call up Genesis to formally introduce Anthony and we'll get the afternoon going. Genesis?
Hello, everybody.
Anthony Valenzuela is accomplished and a young, inspiring leader whose journeys reflect a deep commitment to service leadership and community impact. His leadership path began at Miami-Dade College, where he served as student government president for Kendall campus 2020 to 2021, earning the Florida's Commissioners of Education and Commissioners Leadership Award for his astounding work during the COVID-19 pandemic. He later continued his education at the University of Florida, graduating with a bachelor's degree in business administration and joining the prestigious Florida's Blue Key. In 2022, Anthony founded the Young Professional Board of Casa Familia Inc., advancing effort to provide affordable housing for adults with intellectual disability. He has since built a strong professional presence as co-owner and a broker of Venezuela Real Estate Group and as host of the Mindset podcast, where he engaged influential leaders from across the country. In addition, he supported the Miami-Dade County Schools Board member Roberto Alonso through public relations efforts that uplift initiative impact students and families. In 2024, Anthony was elected to the Community Council for District 11, becoming the youngest elected official current serving in Miami-Dade County. Please join me in welcoming Anthony Valenzuela.
I appreciate it. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
How's everybody feeling?
Pretty
Good. So as Genesis mentioned in my short bio there, I graduated from the Kendall campus not too long ago, which makes me a little bit of an interesting speaker because I'm not too old. I remember what it was essentially to be in your shoes because it wasn't too long ago. After Miami-Dade, as you see here, I went to UF, and now I'm in the workforce, if you will, where all of you will soon be. And I will say Kendall campus is one of the best ones, not only in views, but also in everything that it has to offer. All of them are great. And I know we don't like to compete campus versus campus. We're a big MDC family, though, right? But we have our preferences. And so today's presentation is going to be really interesting. I'm going to talk to you guys straight because I think that's what you guys want from me. I think that's what you all deserve. It's just how it is, no sugarcoating. And I also am going to speak at a little bit of a high level because I know you guys are there with me. You guys are scholars. You guys are successful. You know what this is about. And so I don't feel like I'm going to lose any of you. Because remember, as a speaker, I always have to gauge my audience a little bit. And I've heard incredible things about this group. And so we're going to get right after it. Does that sound good? Fair enough? Okay. Very good. So I think we also have on Zoom. We're good on Zoom there?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want me to stay around here so they can see me?
They can see you.
They can see me? Okay. Very good. And yes, hello to everybody in Zoom land. I'm happy to be here with you all. All right. So I was preparing my remarks and there's so many things that come to mind that I want to talk to you guys about, but I have to remember I only have a certain amount of time. And I think we have a fireside chat coming up after this. So I want to leave time for that as well, which I think really is where the magic happens. So I really was being very concise on what to talk about, where to start. And I want to start with a feeling that I think is at least top 3, one of the most interesting feelings that there is. That's fear. Fear to me is fascinating. Fear to me is always been one that's a little bit mysterious. A little bit of one of, should I go all in on fear? How do I approach it? When I feel it, should I ignore it? Should I embrace it? Should I let it dictate my life? What do I do about fear? And so what I did is I started to research, what do successful people do with fear? That's where my answer is going to lie. If I want to be successful, I need to know, what do successful people do with this emotion? And what I realized is taking you guys back to the very beginning of a little bit of the psychology of fear. Number one, fear, if you think about it, is kind of instilled in us. We're wired with that feeling of fear, right? We're kind of born with it. We don't really learn it. It's in our blood. It's in our DNA. So number one, we have to understand that. You go back to the time of cavemen and cave women, they operated purely or mostly on fear. Fear of, oh, that's hot. Oh, that's sharp. Let me stay away from that. Oh, that's too big of an animal. Let me stay away from that. That's scary. Those are feelings of fear that help them to survive. And so since when we started out as human species, fear was an integral part. Now it's a little bit less important because now there's AC and a roof and building and codes to build buildings. A little bit of that fear is eliminated, but nonetheless, we still need to feel it sometimes to let us know danger, danger. No, you're safe here, danger. No, you're safe here, danger. That's fear. It's part of us. It's wired within who we are. Now, it's also important to understand that we're always going to feel fear, right? I can't tell you, and I'm not pretending at all to tell you right now, hey, Genesis, for example, fear, ignore it, wipe it off, don't feel it. If you want to be successful, you cannot feel fear. That would be irresponsible of me to say. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that what the successful people do that I've studied, which is hundreds of them, what they do is they acknowledge fear. They understand what I just told you, that you're wired as a human being to feel fear, that it is a good feeling if you use it wisely, which we'll get to now in a second, and they overcome it. They acknowledge, and then they overcome. They acknowledge, and then they overcome. That's what successful people do. What not so successful people do is they acknowledge it because they feel it, and they let it dictate their life. I'm scared to open up that business. Your mom telling you, yeah, you're not, sweetie, you're not good enough for that just yet. Okay, mom, you're right. I don't know where to get the money from. Yeah, you're right. You don't have enough money to do that. Fear dictates your life. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It depends on the situation. But what I'm here to tell you is acknowledge it, embrace it, hug it, and depending on the situation, overcome it. Okay? One of the best quotes that I love, that you might have heard it from Will Smith. He was talking about parachuting, jumping out of a plane. And I can share, I should have come ready with that video to share with you. But essentially, what he was saying in that video is, you might want to even write this down, or for those on Zoom, want to write this down in person here too. This is a quote, the best things in life are on the other side of fear. The best things in life, think about it in your heads right now, the best things in life that you could possibly imagine, whatever career, job you want to have, whatever accomplishment you want to have, think about that, right? It might feel a little bit scary, you might feel like, how am I going to get there, right? A little bit of fear. Okay. The best things in life are on the other side of fear. So once you conquer that part of fear of, oh my gosh, that's not for me. I can't do that. My parents didn't do that. Nobody in my family went to college. Graduating, I'll try, but right, that feeling of insecurity, once you accomplish that, once you graduate, once you get that job, once you get that promotion, once you get X amount of money, once you get whatever your goal is, life becomes that much more beautiful. That's where I wanted to set this tone with all of you today, which is really not what I'm here to talk to you about today. What I was asked to come talk to you about today was actually a little different, which is how to finish a year strong. But I wanted to lead with the definition, not the definition, but the concept of how I think you all should look at fear if you want to be successful. I'm talking to those right now that want to be successful, that want to be great. That's my suggestion for your approach to fear. Acknowledge it, hug it, embrace it, crush it. You have to. Because if you stay on this side of fear, you're going to be average your whole life. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of average people. We know average people. I know average people, and they're fine people. But I'm talking for those that want to be 1%, the best of the best, the scholars. That's what it takes. Is it easy? Absolutely not. It's hard as hell. It's super hard. How bad do you want it? That's really what it comes down to. Now, transitioning a little bit of what I came to talk about today, although I think the concept of what we just talked about is important. End of year, finishing strong. And what's funny is that as I prepared my remarks on how to finish strong, I know, are you the only one graduating in this group? It seems like it, right? Okay, well, congratulations to you.
In person.
And
but
Zoom.
here, maybe.
Some friends in Zoom here might be graduating too. But even if you're not, it's okay. This still applies to all of you because eventually you will graduate, right? That's the assumption. That's the hope. What's interesting is that whether it's a career, whether it's a relationship, a position, a leadership position, there's always an end to something if you think about it. There's always an end and there's a beginning. When you end something, you begin something. And I think rather than us looking at it as that, as well, I'm graduating, that's the end of my time in Miami College, now I'm going to start something else, or as an end to my job, I'm going to get another job. Instead of looking at it so transactional as black and white and beginning, I think leaders really look at it a little bit differently. They reframe it, which is the same. It's always the end beginning. We're not changing that. But they transition their mindset to think it's a transition. It's a transition from something to something else. That's really where I think our mind should go. Not so much this is the end and then I start something new. Why? Because now we start getting into momentum. Momentum is critical. If you look at it merely as it is, the end of something and the beginning of something else, well, what do we know? As humans, right, we created this thing called senioritis, whatever that is, right? Which essentially we all know what that is, right? As you get to the end of your schooling career, whether in high school or college, you start to get a little lazy, you start to get a little comfortable, you start to not give it all your best. Senioritis, right? And that you can apply to everything, to a job that you know is ending, to a position that you know is ending. for some reason, our natural instinct is to kind of let go, to kind of let loose a little bit. It's the end of something. Versus leaders, at least the successful ones, from my observation, they don't look at it that way. They look at it more of a, using graduation as an example. If you're graduating now or anytime soon, sure, you're ending your time here at Miami-Dade College. One chapter is closing, but if you change your focus to look at it as a transition, what that automatically does is it helps you to think, okay, what can I do now before it's over, before I actually graduate? What can I do now to prepare myself for what's next? How can I carry this momentum and to do something that's positive to prepare myself for what's next? An example, when I was here at Miami-Dade College, I did 2 years here, my AA, first and second year, and then I went on to UF. What I did, kind of not really knowing, but it worked out and it fits very well for this example, is that I did everything I could it was during the pandemic, so it was even harder, to crush it here. Just absolute crush it. Good grades, make connections, student government, ran for president, didn't think I was going to get it, ran for it anyways. I mean, I milked it, talk about juicing it as much as somebody can. That's what I did. Also, kind of by accident, because again, I didn't think about it as I'm going to tell it to you now, but I just said, all right, what can I do with this experience? And so I networked with everybody and their mother, board of trustees, campus presidents. Everybody knew me because I made the effort to reach out on LinkedIn, to email them, to meet with professors, office hours. I mean, I went in. So what did that do? When I transferred over to UF, right? Talk about transition instead of, okay, and beginning. I didn't think of it that way. I thought transition. When I went to UF, since I had such a lot of momentum going in my favor at the end of my time here at Miami-Dade, when I went to UF, it's not that anybody knew me. In fact, nobody knew me. I was one of 50,000 students. Nobody really cared what I did before. It's not about that. It's about the momentum. I was hot. I was hot off Miami-Dade College and the adrenaline of meeting with presidents and campus leaders. And I was going. And so when I entered UF, that momentum carried with me. And here I go, transfer student, sophomore. And what did I do at UF? Humbly, I crushed it also. I crushed it. Florida Blue Key, incredibly prestigious organization, somehow made it. Transfer students never make Florida Blue Key. They don't. Because the idea behind Florida Blue Key is that you need 4 years to prepare to do stuff on campus, to make a name for yourself. I didn't have that. I was there as a sophomore. There's people that are there since freshman year at UF that never make it a Blue Key. But I got there and I had a fire. I was just ready to rip it. I was going after it. And, and then maybe during the fireside chat, we could talk about how I did that technically, more practically. But that's the idea behind looking at things more as a transition, not end start. Transition, right? For example, I think we talked about this a little bit, but most people lose momentum in this transition phase because, for example, they pause too long after finishing something. They don't reflect quickly enough. They don't convert lessons into systems. But strong leaders, just like we talked about, they do the opposite. They extract lessons immediately. They turn endings into structure, and they start before they feel ready. That's the other thing too. I feel like a lot of us, we always want to feel like we have the perfect situation, like we have everything in order so that we can start something. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. If I waited for anything in my life to be perfect, this would all be blank. There'd be nothing here for you to read. That's what we have to do, is get after it no matter what. There's never going to be that perfect moment. It doesn't exist. We have to go. We have to get after it. If not, we're losing time. And so that's my perspective on that. And very important, just to finish here, leadership isn't proven in control. It's proven in chaos between these cycles. And this is my last point. In these transition periods that we're talking about, that's where there could be, and usually there is, chaos, confusion, delays, uncertainty, right? In those transitions between jobs, between positions, between schools, transferring. I transfer a lot. In high school, I transferred a bunch. In college, I transferred also. And those are the moments where there's chaos. And that's exactly where leaders are made. Because when things are going well, when things are going great, and everything's perfect, or as perfect as can be, it's easy to be disciplined in those perfect moments. It's easy things to be going well in those moments. That's easy to do. But it's in those moments, those pockets of, what does that look like? Where am I going to go? I've applied to like 7 schools and I haven't heard back from anybody. Or, man, going away from home, that's an uncomfortable feeling. I don't know how. Those are the moments that we need to acknowledge, embrace, and not run away from. And I'm not saying go after it either. I'm saying look at it with an open mind of the understanding that in those hard moments when it gets hot in the kitchen, that's when we need to really embrace and kind of sit down and think, okay, do I want to be a leader? Do I want to be the best of the best? Do I want to be the best version of myself? And if you align with those questions, when you ask yourself those questions, and the answer is yes, I want to be the best. Yes, I want to be the best version. Yes, I want to give it my all. Well, then you gotta hone in, you gotta lock in, and do whatever you can to see how you can grow from those difficult moments. Leadership is not easy. Getting good grades is not easy, right? We all know that. We're all in school. Getting grades is not easy. All that stuff is hard, and it's supposed to be. If it was easy, everybody could do it, but not everybody does it. Not everybody's a rising scholar. Not everybody can go to Miami-Dade College. Not everybody can do these things that you all have done, which is very impressive because it's difficult to do. Not everybody could become the youngest elected official. It's not easy to do that. It's not easy. It took a lot of hard work, took a lot of betting on myself, a lot of risk of embarrassment, but that's what the journey is about. And that's what I love about leadership or becoming the best version of yourself is that along the journey, you discover a lot about yourself. And that's a beautiful thing. Because when all is said and done, really, with all of this mumbo jumbo about what I accomplished, all that means to me, or how I look at it, is how can every single day I become better than I was before? What can I do better tomorrow that'll make me a better brother, a better son, a better everything, a better student than I am right now? That's what we're trying to find. That's the hunt that we're on every day. Okay, and to finish, I'll leave you with this really interesting concept that there's no middle ground. A lot of people think, well, if I didn't do anything today, I must have just kind of stayed neutral. False. When we're looking at it from a success objective, you're either going back every day, one step back, or you're moving forward. You never stay in the same place. You're moving back or you're moving forward. So every day when the day's over and you lay your head on your head on your bed at night, you ask yourself, did I move forward today or did I move backwards? Zero land, neutral does not exist. It just doesn't. Forward or backwards. And every day we're moving one step backwards, 2 foot forward, 3 foot forward. And it's okay if we take a foot back. That's all right. As long as the next day it's 2 this way and 3 this way. We got to always keep moving forward. And the way I look at life is like a book. Every day we're writing a chapter in our book. Every day we're writing a chapter. Whether you realize it or not, you're writing a chapter. And one day that book is going to close. One day we're going to expire. Okay? And it's one day, what's also true, somebody's going to open that book, your kids, the kids of your kids, and so on and so forth. And when they open that book called Your Name's Life, Anthony's Life, they're going to start reading it. You're going to start reading what you had to offer, how you changed the world, what you did with the life that was given to you, whether it's 30 years, 50 years, 80 years, 100 years. We don't know that. But they're going to look at what you did with what you had. And my goal, and this is really what we're talking about, is legacy. My goal is for my kids and down the line to pick up that book called Anthony's Life and to be proud about what they read. To be happy about what I did with what I had, the information I had, the resources I had. For them to read about my successes, but also my failures. And that's okay, I'm prepared. I failed a ton of times. And I will continue to fail. That's okay, we're not avoiding that. There's going to be some not so good chapters. But overall, I want them to be proud of the man that I was, of what I did with what I had. And that's the same for all of us. We're all going to have our book. And every day, we're writing the chapters. Here's the good news. Although that's a little scary because we're talking about death. The good news is that we are in sole 100% power of what that book looks like. Nobody else holds the pencil to that book. Nobody. Not your mom, not your dad, not your brother, not your sister, not your wife. Nobody. You are the only author of your book. That's the best news that I could give you. That's the best news. Why? Because we don't depend on anybody. I hate to depend on people. I don't like it. I want to be in control of what I can control and only me. Now, of course, I ask for help and mentorship. Absolutely. Let's not confuse it. What I'm talking about is control of my life should only be me. Of course, I'm wise and I seek counsel and experience and wisdom from other people, as I should, to help me avoid some of the failures that they had. But let's make no mistake about it. Every day you're writing your legacy. If there's anything we should be worried about, it's our legacy, because that's all we have when all is said and done. That's so important. And so, as I summarize this talk, and now we're going to jump into some questions here. Fear, we talked about it. Embrace it, tackle it. Don't let that get in the way between you and success, because that's the only thing that can get in your way. Fear, I'm not good enough. And here's the most complicated part, I think. If you have people in your ear who you love telling you things like, you're not good enough, don't do it yet, that's too hard, that's not for you, that's challenging. Because now your heart and your mind are battling. That's hard. Maybe we can get into that now in a second. But we gotta take control. Okay? The best things in life are on the other side of fear. The best things in life are on the other side of fear. And then number two, don't look at things as an end and beginning. It's not so transition. We're transitioning. We're building momentum from one place to go to the other place. As you're about to graduate, when are you graduating? Do you know the exact date? Or more or less?
Well, okay, the graduation counts for the actual diploma, so I guess it's just April 25th.
April 25th. Fantastic. So already, for example, what I would do if you haven't done it already is you already know when you're graduating. It doesn't come as a surprise. All right, what can I do now to build momentum for the future? What skills or trades or things can I learn? Or maybe I never had a LinkedIn page. Now's the time to do it. Proactive things to do now as you're in the transition phase to somewhere else. What can I do to get momentum, energy from what I'm doing now, from the end of something to build on the future of something else? Because if, for example, if I didn't have momentum going from Miami-Dade College to the University of Florida, half of what's here wouldn't be on me at all. But I use that momentum, that energy to get me going over there. And I started reaching out to people over there. How can I get involved? What can I do? Researching, staying up late at night. That's what got me to where I am today. Networking, researching, momentum, energy. Let's use it. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. You just have to be mindful that it's there and that it's up to you if you want to build it or if you don't. Okay, so I think, my friends, to kind of finish as we go into this fireside chat, and hopefully you guys have some good questions, is embrace your fear, acknowledge it, get after it. And at the end, really what this is about is how bad do you want it? If you don't want it that bad, then a lot of what I'm telling you might go in one ear, might go out the other ear. But if you're somebody that resonates a little bit, you feel a little bit uncomfortable with what I'm saying, you should, to some degree, right? You should want to get after it. Then you really want it. How bad do you want it? You really want it that bad, you'll do everything that I'm talking about today and then some. This is just scratching the surface. And at the end, maybe Miguel will help me share with you all my social media and stuff, because I love to stay connected with you all. The reason I do this is because you all are the future. You all are what we're looking at of future leaders, doctors, elected officials. And so I want to pour in what people have poured into me in the past. And so this is how this works. I come here, but I certainly want to hear from you and celebrate all of your accomplishments along the journey. And so we'll make sure to get you connected with my social media. And I think with that, we're ready to rock and roll. Very good.
My current fireside. So you want to sit or?
Yeah, no, I'll take that.
I'm an Anthony fan, so.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I have like 50 questions, no?
50 questions, make them easy. No hard
How many
questions.
folks we have online now? Close to 50? Yeah. So I have to remind myself, and I see Hugo on the screen there, so definitely want to hear his voice, and I can see. But an honor to really have you here. While you were a student, I'm into commencement.
Mhm.
And I remember binging on the 3 ceremonies and going back and cropping each speech of the student leaders for each of the ceremonies, and I came across yours.
Mhm.
And I was fascinated with that. So hopefully we can share a little bit of your speech, since we're up against commencement.
Mhm.
I have a lot of questions,
Mhm.
and I wrote them down.
He didn't share any questions with me, by the way.
I
I have
didn't.
no idea what's coming. I'm a little scared.
Yeah, so we're at a point in the term where, being overwhelmed is a thing, right? I got a message this morning, hey, this class, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna lose my scholarship? Things of that nature. For students who are feeling overwhelmed
Yeah.
at the end of the term, what mindset shift would you recommend?
That's a good question. I think immediately what comes to mind of that question of, okay, I'm overwhelmed, what can I do now? Well, number one, and I hate to, maybe it's not an answer you all will like, but it's maybe next time prepare better so that you're not overwhelmed, right? Prepare so you can avoid these yucky feelings. But hey, we're overwhelmed. We're here now. Now what do I do? Well, preparedness aside, because we can't, because we're in the mix of it already. I think number one is my mom always tells me, how do you eat an elephant? 1 foot at a time, little pieces at a time. So what helps me is that I'm a very visual person. So immediately when I feel like I have so many things going on, is I start writing things down. Because if I just create a list in my head of like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and then after this, I gotta do that, nothing gets done. I'm that kind of person that if I'm overwhelmed, it's not like I do 1 or 2 things, I do none of them. I do the most unimportant things around my house. I start cleaning my room when I have so many important things to do. So anyway, write your priorities down from probably most important, or the way I put it, yeah, most important, but also the hardest thing to achieve or the task. I put it first, and then I start working my way down. And there's nothing better in the world than crossing something out. That's the best feeling in the world. When you did something, you cross it out, it feels amazing. And so I write things down, and if needed, I certainly think what our young generation lacks a little bit of is asking for help. Sometimes I think we're embarrassed to ask for help. We see it as a weakness. The total opposite. I think there's a lot of people that want to help us. We just have to ask for it. And so whether that's a professor going to office hours, being creative on how you can ask for help from the right people. People are there to help. It'll surprise you. People really want to help you. Colleagues, classmates, advisors, friends, family. Ask for help. Write things down. And I think number 3, to finish, like the third point, is probably, I think it would still, to not be repetitive, it would really be just to ask for help and write things down. I think with those 2 things, I think you'll do just fine. With the honorable mention of try the best you can to avoid being in those moments of being overwhelmed. If you're a procrastinator, like I am, acknowledge that and do everything you can to not be in those overwhelmed, now I have 30 things to do kind of moments, because they are terrible.
And I'm on board with writing. I'm looking at my clipboard over there. And I normally start the day with like reflections, what happened the day before, but broadly, like I need to archive things. I need to focus on vision, and I need to focus on health, wealth, family, education, traveling, transportation,
Right.
and things of that nature. And I also jot down what are some of the activities that I, have to focus on, the priorities, right? So today's convening, next week's convening of the commencement and the end of year and all that's going on. And I also think about things that are pending, right? People that have reached out to me, like my boss just reached out to me, like Samantha just reached out to me. Things of that nature. Throughout the day, I'll get a missed call and missed text, and I just make sure that I note that down so that I, address it, at my earliest convenience.
And with technology, it's so easy. Alarms on your phone, calendar on your phone, notes on your iPhone, on your phone. I mean, it's so easy now to do that.
What are some of your strategies? Those of you who are here, Samantha, what do you do?
Well, I have a calendar in my room that I notes everything that I have for the day. I always do it like for 2 weeks before that, just to know what I need to do, because I forget everything. So I do that.
Oh, amazing. A little bit more traditional, which I like that too, like the actual physical calendar.
Want to share your strategies?
Always Google Calendar. It's one of us.
Google Calendar?
My best friend, everything. All digital, everything. All my time, all my schedule.
Also Google Calendar too. I usually would put all the if the assignments are posted like at the beginning of the semester, I would put it all until the end of the semester for all the classes I need to put.
Very good.
Someone online is raising their hands. Carlos Ortiz. I guess they're gonna unmute.
Yes, so Carlos, go ahead and chime in.
Yeah, so like usually for strategies, it's always try to plan at least a day ahead. Like for example, today I know I had this meeting. I have to study for my chemistry final next week. And as we speak, I'm currently cooking hamburgers for my little brother. So
Are you
it's
gonna
like so
share?
many things you have to handle at once, whether it be simultaneously or like academically, because it's not just chemistry, I have math and everything. So as long as you know what's gonna come punch you first, be ready for that and then attack the next thing that'll come at you.
That's deep, Carlos. Anyone else online or?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
I also wanna add, if you like have an assignment due and you have the free time to do it and like you're like, you know what, I'm gonna get this done. Please do it. It comes coming back to you. But if you keep procrastinating and then the day I'm like, oh no, I forgot to do this assignment. So do it like whenever you can.
Yeah.
Yep. So in those free moments, it's a great opportunity to get ahead. Another folk,
Yeah.
you go?
Yes, usually I'm not really good at making agendas or schedules, but my teacher Ryan that he helped me to make a good agenda. So I usually do it. I usually used to do it back then. Like I used to do it back then like w when I have like dinner or like yeah when I have dinner I schedule like what I'm gonna do like for the next day and then and then I remember like back in the day, like in the morning I would schedule it, but I would sometimes get distracted talking to myself. But yeah, so what I usually do, like the day when the day's coming, like the dinner I'm gonna have, like I'm gonna schedule what I'm gonna do for the day. So that's basically what I do, and I go time by time, you know.
I think that's a great start. I mean, just looking at the short term, the day, what's ahead of you, and then essentially
An infinite photo.
infinite.
Infinite amount of Dr. Murphys and Anthony's. It's dangerous. That's a dangerous world.
Yeah, until someone poses a question.
Yeah.
But definitely looking at what's in front of you, and I'm looking at Ripple, and I'm like, what did you do for 2027? He's like, well, you gotta focus on the present, which is true. But your future self is also, I think, important. So in just visioning, right? Like, yes, the day is gonna consume you with your assignments, but throw that aside for a moment and look at a little bit of the future. And it could be, again, your health, your education, transportation, right? The common things, your faith, strengthening those things. So what does finishing strong, Anthony, really mean to you, and how can first year students, I know majority of you are, well, it's a mixed group, but this is specific to first year students. How can first year students apply that now?
Yeah, I think first year students, again, if you know you're going to graduate, which all of you will be graduating from here, if you're a first year student especially, you know what's going to happen. So a little bit of your future is already written in stone. You will graduate from Miami-Dade College. So knowing that, it's almost like working backwards. So you know you're going to graduate, and now you got to start asking yourself some important questions that maybe you haven't before of what do you want to do with your life, which is a little bit of a broader question. More specifically, it looks something like this. Where do you want to go after Miami-Dade College? What does that look like for you? What do you want to study? What are you passionate about? What do you like? You start asking yourself those questions. And again, in the spirit of working backwards, once you start answering those questions of where you want to go, what do you like? What gets you excited? What does your life look like? What do you want it to look like? Once you start answering those questions, now everything starts to take a little bit more shape, a little bit more form. And it's okay if you don't have those answers just yet. You're so young, incredibly young. You cannot know any of these answers for a long time past graduation and still be just fine. Really. But if we're being practical about that question, it looks something like that. Discovering a little bit of who you are. Because once you discover a little bit of who you are, at least the direction, what you want to go in and which you want to go in, then the finishing strong portion comes a little bit more naturally, comes a little bit easier. And I think it's important, kind of tying back to the first question you asked me, is being prepared as much as you can. There's always going to be things and assignment and tasks to do that are always going to catch you off guard. but the more prepared we can be for the end, or for the beginning of the transition, as I like to call it, the better, the smoother that process is going to go.
So a little bit to our graduated students. What is one mistake you see that graduates make, and how can they avoid that?
I think what graduating students, the mistake that they tend to make is that they don't place enough importance on networking. Networking is everything. It is everything. It is absolutely everything. Relationships, which is networking, is the currency of the real world. It's not really about how much money you have or how much you can potentially make. It's about how many people can you meet, how many connections can you actually make. That's what I've discovered is the real value. The real goal here is to meet as many people as possible, make genuine connections, put yourself out there in uncomfortable situations like networking events, which can be and most of the time are uncomfortable. Putting yourself out there anyway, strategizing, preparing yourself on what to say, how to, your elevator pitch, all of these things, really fine-tuning them. Because really, I got to tell you guys and be honest with you, you will become, I'll put it this way, a lot more successful, a lot faster, if that made any sense, if you understand that relationships are everything. Networking is everything. It's not really about who you know. That's a lie. It's about who knows you. Because I can know Dr. Stewart, but if Dr. Stewart doesn't know me, what good does that do? Like I can't really get anything from that relationship if you will look at it that way. So it's getting Dr. Stewart to know me, talking to him genuinely like no other student will. Most students would end at, "Hi, my name is so-and-so. What's your name?" "Oh, Dr. Stewart, great, nice to meet you." And that's where the most conversations end. It's what else can you do strategically, a story, a little something about yourself, maybe a little bit of research. If you would have done a little bit of research, for example, on Dr. Stewart, you would know he's from Texas. And maybe if you've been to Texas before, you plug in a quick story. "Oh, when I went to Austin," it's a little bit, it's a little bit more work, not extraordinary work, I don't think, but it's a little bit farther than "Hi, how are you?" That can take you a lot farther. So networking, I think, is something that anybody, but certainly second-year students, can do a little bit better at doing.
Thank you. And so what was the biggest adjustment that you experienced transitioning to the University of Florida?
Yeah, the biggest adjustment in that case was being away from home, right? That's the most obvious one, but it's also the one that takes the most adjustment because my whole thing at that point, I was 20 years old. Yeah, when I transferred out, I think. So I was, the first 20 years of my life were at home in the comfort of my home with my parents, with my sister. And for the first time ever, I'm away from them, detached totally, right? And so that is always going to take a little bit of adjustment if that's what your future looks like. And so what I would say to that is that it was one of the best things that could have happened to me. Scariest thing at the moment, because I'm like, oh gosh, I don't really know how to live on my own all that well. I'm a little scared about that. Or what happens if something happens? I'm 5 hours away from home, which could be a lot worse, but nonetheless, 5 hours is 5 hours. Scary, certainly. Fearful, right? Talking about fear. But looking back at it now, which we can only look back at things, best thing that could have happened because I matured incredibly fast. It was like a fast pass to maturity. Living on your own, I think, does that to you. And it gave me a great experience because now I was removed from my bubble of Miami, of Kendall, and I was in a whole different world from people from all over the world, students from Ireland. My roommate was from North Dakota. What the hell is there to do in North Dakota? Like, there's not a lot. And so I got to learn his culture, and it's just, it was incredible. That was my biggest adjustment, was moving away from home for the first time.
Thank you for sharing that. And so what advice would you give those students who may feel anxious about leaving Mr. O'Connor and Ms. Hernandez and DC?
Yeah, you're in the right place. I think I look at feelings like fear, like anxiety, as feelings telling you you're moving in the right direction. These are good feelings. Because remember, if we operate solely in our comfort zone, are we really growing? Are we challenging ourselves? Are we expanding to new horizons? Probably not. But if we're feeling a little fearful, a little uncertain, a little anxious, for the most part, those are very good feelings to have because you're challenging yourself while your brain, that as we know, is wired to keep you safe, is fighting, constantly fighting, right? So that's a good place to be. So what would I say to those students? Keep moving forward. keep discovering, keep asking questions, be open to change. Change is good. Do not operate in your comfort zone because you will not be successful there.
Thank you. So let's switch back some gears to our first year students. You were president of student government while you were here
Yes.
at the Kendall campus. How did getting involved in SGA shape your college experience early and for the better?
Is your office based out of Wilson or North?
Wolfson.
Wilson. Do you have a favorite campus? Off the record, nobody's recording. Hopefully not.
I spent 2 decades at North Campus.
Okay, so is that your favorite?
So we'll leave it.
So we'll leave it at that, right? Okay, that's right.
The different kind of love.
Okay,
when
all
I-
right, very good. So the question was, how did my SGA experience kind of transform my life in general? Yeah, I think, look, if you have the opportunity to join your student government, and this goes to first years, of course, is to do it, hands down to do it. Every campus has a student government, every single one. All 8 campuses have their own board and president, vice president. And if you're anything like me, you never joined or even were part of student government in high school. Like I never really knew what it was about, what they do, nothing until I got to Miami-Dade College, my freshman year, my first year. And somebody told me, hey, you should join this. I'm like, yeah, sure, just for fun, I'll join with you. And so I joined my first year, was a regular member of student government, started to like it, started to learn a little bit of what it meant. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I was just going to be a regular member my second year. And I remember as applications were coming up to run for president and leadership, again, a friend encouraged me, hey, you should do a little more, try. If you fail, what's the worst that can happen? You become a regular member just like it is right now in your plans. And so I said, you know what, let's give it a shot. Let's see what this is about. So I ran for student government president, ended up winning. And I will say it is one of the best decisions I ever made. But even if I was just a member, if you're just thinking about a member, that's fantastic too. If you end up going into leadership, even better. Because talking about networking and the importance of networking through student government, you're exposed to a lot of different opportunities to network, to know your campus president, to get to know the board of trustees, which are very important, influential people, to get invited to speak at different events, speak at colloquiums. Like the doors just open for you being part of student government. And it's one of the best, I think, organizations on each campus is student government, and a lot of room for leadership growth. I would highly recommend it. Highly recommend it.
And I do want to shout out the Wilson campus president-elect, that's Kirhi Kim, and Jackson Rosello at the West Campus, 2 presidential scholars that are going to be taken
Oh, excellent.
on the role of president of
Very
student
good.
government in the upcoming academic year.
Are they on the Zoom right now?
I'm sure they'll view the recording.
Okay, very good.
So we'll give them a virtual
Hello.
hello. What role did mentorship or community play in your growth?
It was huge. I think what's so interesting about mentorship is first understanding that as young people, as we all are, and including you, of course, we all are, us young people, is that what we have is a lot of time. Oh, let me take a step back. The 2 things that are priceless is time and experience. Time and experience, you can't put a price on it. It is worth millions, billions of dollars, right? You go to a billionaire right now that is about to die, 85 years old, and he would literally give up all his money to be your age, all of his billions of dollars. I mean, that says something, doesn't it? And then I would ask all of you, wouldn't you love to have the experience of somebody who's super, super successful and much older than us? Wouldn't you love to have that experience? Yeah, of course. So time and experience, you can't buy, impossible. But here's the trick around that. Here's how you can have both as a young person. Number 1, we have time. We have the time. So boom, we already have that. Half the battle's won. Now, how do we get the experience? That's priceless. How do we do that? You find a mentor, right? Because what a mentor does is that they're able to help you give their experience to you, give their knowledge, infuse their wisdom into you. Their experience that is priceless, boom, now you have it. So if you want to do what this person did or does, which is the idea of why you get a certain mentor, is because you admire that person, you want to be where they are. That's at the grain why you want that mentor. What they can help you with is to avoid on the journey what they made a mistake on or what they failed at, when they fell, when they got hurt, what they, what didn't work. They can tell you all of that so that you don't have to. So all of a sudden, you have time, which you already have, and now you have experience, which is priceless. That's the hack. So going through life without mentorship, I think, is a wasted life, to put it flat out. I think it's like that. It's as deep as it sounds, because you need to get that experience. And there's people, I'm telling you, there's people out there that surprise me, that want to help you, that actually genuinely, for no benefit, they just want to help you. They want to give you what they know and they want to give it to you. I found that to be true. And it was contrary to what I thought. I thought asking for help seemed a little bit weird. Like, nobody really out to help you. Everybody says the world is so mean outside and everybody's so harsh and cutthroat, and Miami people. That's what the world says. I didn't find that to be true, and I didn't do anything special. I just asked for help, and people were willing to help. Crucial. You need mentors. 100%.
I agree. Any questions, for Anthony?
I was gonna mention one about, it was great that we kind of touched on first year students, second year students, but I wanted to ask for first year students specifically.
Yeah.
They're ending their first year almost, right? And maybe they haven't been able to get involved, or maybe they're not as active, or maybe they're just kind of hesitant to take the next step of growth. As you reflect on like your first year at the college, what kind of prompted you to go all in like your last year to really like take off and gain that momentum?
Yeah, great question. And you're right. The first year for me was kind of a little slow, as it's fine, right? You're trying different things out. You're new to college, so it's a little bit of a progress. So my first year wasn't this blitz that I'm talking about. That really came, like you mentioned, the second year. What clicked for me to say, okay, I'm going from this first year, which is to get acquainted with the campus, to know how college works, to learn what clubs are what, to still join, but not really all out effort. Or I wouldn't put it that way, but an all out, like, let's get after it. I think what clicked that helped me get to that point is understanding, I think through a mentor actually, that college, if you want to be successful and if you want to do something with it, should not be a place you go to, right? College, home, campus, but it should be more of a place, an experience that you go through, right? Like a place where you can really use not only the educational component of it, but the whole college experience in your favor, which is extracurriculars, activities, clubs, events, sporting event. Like, it's looking at college more from a lens of, okay, this is only educational. I'm only going to go there to get my education, to wait, there's student government, there's PTK, there's rising scholars. Hold on, they have sports here, they have this, they have that, they have so many resources for business. So I took advantage of everything. I was here like all day long, almost every day. Because there was so much that Miami-Dade College has to offer, and much more now than when I was there. And so that was kind of like what clicked. Is like, okay, let me not make this so transactional of go home, campus, classes are finished, go back home, class, home. It's just, it didn't feel right. It felt a little empty. And so I said, what else can I get from this experience that's here? It's already here. If I go home, I'm not really going to do much with my time. Let me at least be productive, or try to be. And so that's where I started kind of hanging out on campus, meeting new people, really taking an interest in networking, getting to know my professors. And that's where it like started making sense. And it's a snowball effect. Once you get sucked into student life, you're stuck there forever, right? Which is a good thing. It's a very good thing. That's what I would say.
He's not lying.
No, it's a dangerous place.
Yes. So and thank you, Bernadette. So you've built a career in real estate and launched a podcast. How can students begin building their personal brand while still in college?
I think that's good. I think a key component of your personal brand is social media. It's just the world that we live in today. You don't necessarily have to like it, but you have to have it, right? If you want to have a personal brand. If you don't, then you don't have to. But certainly platforms like LinkedIn, crucial, must have one. I consider that a top 2 social media platforms that you have to have. Instagram, of course, is one, Facebook, and it goes down the list. But the more social media platforms you can have in your disposal, the better, because that's where the world is. That's where the attention is. Certainly, we have to not forget about our soft skills, looking at people in the eyes, shaking hands, these soft skills that a lot of young people, I want to be generous. I don't want to say they forgot, but they tend to lose a little bit because we're so digital now. We're like overly digital that we forget about the interacting in spaces like this. So we can't lose that. But if the question is more on the personal brand, I think what's important is social media, social presence. and going about that the right way, right? You can't have social media and be posting things that are making you look silly and things that are not good, right? That defeats the whole purpose. In fact, that makes you look worse than if you had social media. So really reevaluate what you have there already. It's not too late to archive a couple images or delete some things. Certainly would help to clean it up. And then what I would say, this is a very good practical thing that just came to my mind, is when it comes to your social media or just your brand in general, I would say you have to have 3 words that you want everybody to think when they think about you. When somebody, which I'll share my Instagram now in a second, when all of you guys go on my Instagram later today or my LinkedIn today, tomorrow, this week, I already know what 3 words I want you guys to think about when you evaluate my social media. It's not a guess. My social media is not let's put stuff out there and see what happens. Like, it's strategic. And so all of you, my recommendation is think of 3 words that you want your brand, your image to be. Family man, family person, professional, whatever it is. There's no right or wrong answers. 3 words that when people go online and they learn about Gina, they learn about Hugo, it's there. It's obvious. It's evident. That's what you want your social media to be. And what I do to start off with this, we have a raised hand there. To start off with this journey of 3 words is I would put it on a sticky note, slap it onto your bathroom mirror. Why? Because sure, it's easy to think about it now, write it down, and you forget about it. But if we want to be consistent with it and actually do something with these 3 words, every morning what I do, as we all should do, is brush our teeth in front of the mirror. And what's there in the sticky note? Professional, family-oriented, and trustworthy. Those are my 3 words, by the way. So I had that in my sticky notes every morning, every night, and in between, I run into those 3 words. And it reminds me, every post has to go towards one of those 3 words. If it doesn't go up.
Wow. Earth is online and wants to ask a question. Go ahead, Earth.
Hello, good afternoon. I hope both of you are doing well. I know you mentioned, Mr. Valenzuela, something about not being afraid to get out of your comfort zone and going to a new university/college. I've been hoping to transfer out of state, but one of my biggest struggles right now is how am I going to handle a new environment, being away from my family and also continue my leadership growth somewhere that's extremely different from where I am right now and away from the people who has been supporting me throughout the semesters at MDC. What advice could you give to someone like myself who wants to take that first step to having a life of my own away from comfort?
Great question. I think number 1 is pat yourself on the back. Like we talked about earlier, those feelings of uncertainty of what does that look like, it's already telling you that you're on the right path. So number 1, celebrate that, right? That you're exploring that and that it seems like you're open-minded to that is fantastic. A lot of people don't even get to the point that you're at. They just automatically think, being away from home, not comfortable, next, okay, FIU, UF, right? So congratulations for exploring, and I can hear it in your voice, genuinely exploring those opportunities. That says a lot about who you are. Number 2, I'm not going to tell you it's going to be easy because it's not, right? So I would be a hypocrite if I told you, it's going to be easy, you're going to be fine, it's not as bad as you think. I can't say that. I don't want to lie to you, right? It will be scary, it might be uncomfortable. You're going to run into a culture shock probably depending on where you're going. You might run into people who are not accepting of who you are, your culture. That's the reality of the world. So it's understanding those things, somewhat preparing for them so it's not too much of a shock when you're there. And the third thing that I'll say more practical, that might be the most helpful thing that I tell you, is to, once you identify where you're going to go, that community, that university, that program, is try to the best of your ability on social media. LinkedIn, I think will be a good contributor. Instagram, Facebook, is to, before you go, already make connections with some people there. Follow them, request them on Instagram, request them to join you on your LinkedIn. And what you can do, which is what I did, talking about the transition period, not really looking at things as an end and a beginning, but more as a transition, is preparing yourself as much as possible, right? We're talking about that. I lost my train of thought for a second, but it's really being strategic about it. So on LinkedIn, for example, what I did when I was transferring between Miami-Dade College and UF is that I found, which is very easy to do, the student leaders at UF at the time, right? Student body president, student government this, whatever, PTK this, right? So it's easy to find because everybody puts it and you just search it up on LinkedIn. And so what I did is I didn't know them, so it was a cold text, if you will. I reached out to all of a plethora of student leaders, introduced myself briefly, told them a little bit about my situation that I'm transferring, and told them that I'd love to jump on a phone call with them to talk about transferring and what that looks like, or what clubs I can join when I get to campus. Cold. They don't know me. I don't know them. But that simple message, again, going back to what has seemed to be a reoccurring topic of today, is asking for help. People will respond back and say, absolutely, let's jump on a call. And so before I step foot on campus, I'm already getting acquainted with not only student leaders, which is a huge plus, because the most important people on campus are already getting a feel for who I am, but they're also giving me solid advice. Join this. Yeah, don't join this. It's not really going to get you anywhere. Join this one instead. So that already makes you feel not only more comfortable when you get to where you're going, but also gets the nerves out of the way.
Yes, I just had a light bulb moment that, because this is the first hybrid session that we've done. And next year, as we do more, definitely can connect our alumni at those institutions to share their experiences as well. Any more questions for?
Yeah.
So earlier you were talking about like networking, and also how you would like communicate more with your teachers and like your superiors. So
yeah.
Do you have like any advice on interpersonal communication?
Yeah, I think being very clear of what your intentions are is always important. Sometimes people are not very clear with what they're trying to get out of a certain relationship. So being clear and intentional with that is always good. And being genuine, being authentic in who you are, not really, because the common trap that people fall into when they're building relationships is thinking and doing the following, which is being someone that they're not, trying to overly impress or change a little bit of who you are to impress. That's never good either. You want to be who you are. You obviously want to be polished, you want to be presentable, you want to do the basics, but you also want to be genuinely in conversation who you are, right? You want to let that other person know, potential mentor, professor, look, this is who I am, this is where I'm at, and this is how you can help me get to where I'm at, or where I want to go. So I think being genuine, being authentic, being clear in your communication to that person, whoever it is, are practical tips, I think, that can help you get something out of it. And being consistent, because relationships are not one conversation and that's it. That's not a relationship. A relationship is 2, 3, 10, 30, follow each other, contacts are shared, text messages, happy birthday, hey, how are you doing, phone calls. It's a developing, evolving thing. That's what's called a relationship, where both people want to be a part of it, not just a one-off, hey, how are you? And professors see that a lot when it comes to letters of recommendation. All of a sudden, you need a letter of recommendation. Now you're going to office hours. Now you're interested in the class. Now you're asking questions. How convenient. Doesn't look good. So for first-year students, honorable mention of advice is you're going to need letters of recommendation, most likely. Do not be that student that waits until you have to get it to build a relationship with that professor. Because number one, they're probably going to say no. And number two, that letter of recommendation is not going to be good because they don't know you. And what's the worst that can happen? Let's say at the end, you don't need a letter of recommendation. You spend all this time getting to know a professor. What? It might turn into something really good where they can help you, get you connected, so on and so forth. So relationships is always a give and take. You have to give, but it's also a little bit of taking that you do, learning and stuff like that. Does that help?
Yeah.
That's good?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That one hit
Yeah.
over here as well.
All right, good deal.
So how do you balance professional success and giving back to the community as you're doing right now?
That's a good question. I think I try to, in my professional setting, in my career, and just doing what I do, I try through that work that I do, be an example, be a light while I do that, because it's mostly what I do. Most of my hours of the week consist of my work, which is real estate, doing speaking engagements like this, community council, elected official stuff. It's just, that's what consumes most of my hours. So instead of me thinking, okay, I'm going to put X amount of hours of work per week and then X amount of community service, I try to see how can I intertwine it in a way where when I'm working, I'm really giving back in some way or another. For example, if I'm with a real estate client, somebody that wants to buy a house, but they can't, instead of just letting that person go and say, well, yeah, I mean, you don't have enough money, I don't think you can buy it. Through the community service lens, I try to help them prepare on, okay, look, you don't have it right now, but try to do this, try to fix your credit here, and then try to do this and whatever. I give them a little bit of a plan of in the next 6 months, the next year, do these different things so that you can be ready and we can have a different conversation when you're ready. So it's, for me, I tried to intermingle both of them so it's not so work, community service. Certainly there's more obvious things like feeding the homeless, which is something I like to do. Well, I can't do that while working. And so I do that. I plan that out in advance on some weekends. But there's a lot of things that you can do to be nice to one another, help one another, go the extra mile. I think that counts as community service. It doesn't have to be, I think when we think about community services, grandiose thing, clean up the beach, great. But it could be through daily interactions that you change someone's life. A simple hello, a simple smile, that is community service.
Thank you. And I have many more questions, but
Mm.
I'll end with this
Okay.
final one and open it up. Okay, so
Oh, yeah.
yeah, before my final question.
I was wondering if you ever felt like you were not good enough, like when you were picking your major, if you were afraid of the competition of the competitive, sorry,
Yeah, the competition.
competition, yeah. If you had that fear and how you overcome it.
That's a great question. And I kind of look at it as two different ones. So the first one of, did I ever have any self-doubt? I still do. I still do. I still have self-doubt when I get invited to do things or really big deals that I have that are multi-million-dollar deals. I'm like, oh my gosh, me? Can I even do that? So I still have it. It never goes away. But like everything, it's just a matter of repetition. I trained my mind early on that when I feel like that, I acknowledge it, right? Okay, I'm feeling a little bit of doubt right now. And I quickly, as quickly as I can, shift my focus to something else, to action or to something else, or I listen to something positive, Gary Vee, Eric Thomas, people who speak positivity, or just, I move my mind away from that so that I don't dwell in that sense of doubt for too long, because if I do, then it becomes reality for me. If I dwell too much and I think about something for too long, like I'm not good enough, at some point it becomes delusional and I believe it to be true. And I think that could be true for a lot of us, for all of us. And so I acknowledge these feelings that are the enemies to success, the poison to success, and I move away from that as quickly as possible. And in a way, maybe I still become, I stay in that delusional state and say I can do something that I maybe can't, but I become delusional in a positive way of saying, hey, yes, I can. Yes, I can do that. I'm going to do everything I can to do that. So it's a shift in focus from a negative place to a positive place as quickly as possible is with that. What was your second question?
About
Competition. Oh yeah. No, I love it. I think I'm played sports my whole life, so I thrive off of competition. I like competition. I acknowledge that like when I was in school, for example, everybody around me was my competition. All of you are my competition. You are. I mean, you're not too far in age from me, so you could be. That's just the world we live in, right? It's competition, especially when we look at something like business, which is what I'm in, which is business. It's always thinking and understanding that everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people every day are doing something. For example, to put in my shoes, somebody right now is doing something, taking a class, learning something from a mentor to be a better realtor. And if I go all day without trying to find something like that of what can I do better to be a better realtor, then I'm losing, and that is unacceptable. And so I think knowing that my competition every day is doing something to be better than me and to beat me makes me uncomfortable, makes me get out of bed, makes me not procrastinate, makes me not take days off. Because if I take a day off, that's one day that I'm giving my competition, and that can't happen because I need to be the best realtor that I can be. And so to do that, I need to be on my game 24/7, including holidays, including breaks. Like for me, spring break never existed. I would come back from UF and it was work, it was networking, it was going to events. And it's not a burden to me. Some of you might hear that and be like, oh my God, I can't wait for the weekend. I don't want to say never, but I don't think like that now because I just want to be the best. I'm so hungry to be the best I can be that breaks, weekends, like those things just don't really exist for me because I don't allow it to. I want to be better. And when I see somebody else closing more deals than me, it boils my blood. Like it gets me upset. And I don't know that person, but it just gets me upset that somebody is doing better because I'm not doing my best. And so, yeah, competition is a part of it. The sooner we address it, the sooner we understand it and say we're going to get after it anyway. Because the competition is not going to go away. There's nothing I can do to get rid of the competition. So my two options when I get faced with the uncomfortableness of there's competition is number one, to let my competition win, or to do everything I can to have a shot to beat my competition. Those are the only two routes you can go. I choose to go the route of I'm gonna freaking destroy my competition. I'm gonna suffocate my competition. Respectfully. No offense.
Creates greatness.
Absolutely. I like that. Competition does create greatness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm inspired. I was gonna end it on this question, but I realized I left a whole group out.
Yes.
And that's the group that's continuing at Miami-Dade College. Like, you know,
So
we have,
first years or
well,
even second years that continue.
well, yeah,
Right.
completing associates
Yeah.
and moving on to bachelors.
Mhm.
So I'll just
Right.
keep it to two questions just to address this group.
Mhm.
So for students that are staying
Mhm.
at Miami-Dade College to pursue their bachelor's degree, because we have a ton load of them, how can they maximize or continue maximizing their experience?
That's a good question. I think it's like we've talked about already, right? Continuing to explore different. There's so many clubs here on campus, on any campus. There's so many. There's some that you don't even think exist that do exist. So I think it's really looking at college through a different lens of it's not only educational. You can get a lot more from your college experience, especially Miami-Dade. It's amazing. Like there's other community college that you kind of feel bad for them a little bit. Not here. I mean, this is an incredible institution that has so much to offer, and everybody's so nice, willing to give back. It's incredible. And so for those students that are going to continue here at Miami-Dade College for however long it is continue to or start if you haven't started yet, or continue if you've already started, to look for different opportunities here. Research, go online, ask for help, go to office hours to professors. Like get a little bit more out of your shell, ask questions, ask your peers what are they doing to get involved, and see what you can do that's not just going to class. Going to class is fine and dandy, but it's what else can you do with your time here? You're here anyway. It's mostly free, if not free 100%. Get something out of it. Like, why not? Like, what would you? My question always is, what do you have to lose? If you join a club and it's a terrible experience, okay, that's all right. You learned something from that too. You didn't really lose anything. You would have lost maybe time at home on your couch. I mean, it's okay. It's all right. And always remember that you don't have to graduate or wait until you graduate to network. Network among your peers, like network amongst each other, connect with one another, because you never know where any of you might be, where a good friend Hugo here might be in 10 years. And you might need a connection, or you might, need something from Hugo. If he remembers you fondly when your time here in Rising Scholars, he might be able to lend you a hand. And presidential scholar. I knew you were gonna tag me with that. I forgot.
Hugo's a big presidential.
Big presidential scholar. So I think that's something too. I think people don't look at your classmates as people that you should network with. Absolutely. For example, Jeff Bezos went to Palmetto or Southwest? Palmetto. Imagine his classmates. Whoops. All right. Imagine knowing now, of course, now because time has passed by, that Jeff Bezos and the Supreme Court Justice, that's right, when was your classmate and you really didn't network? Yikes, that would hurt me. I don't know how to come back from that one. So you'd be surprised. I mean, all of you guys here are on your way to greatness. Get to know one another. You don't have to wait for something to network. Remember, there's no perfect moment. Networking doesn't start when you leave here, or it doesn't start when you graduate from here or go somewhere else. It starts right now. It starts right now.
And so what would you say to those students who feel pressured to leave but are choosing to stay?
In Miami-Dade College? Yeah, I think understand where that pressure is coming from. Why does this person or these people want you to leave Miami-Dade College to go somewhere else? Also understand what your life would look like if you stay here. Well, the interesting thing about it is that you have to make a decision. And we'll never know what's going to happen or what your life could have looked like if you took the other decision. So it's always a gamble. It's a little bit of risk involved. But it's being strategic too, okay? Person or people that want me to leave Miami-Dade College to go elsewhere. Why? What are your reasons? Objectively, take the emotion out of the conversation. Just look, what do you see? Why? Okay. Maybe they don't understand your goals very well. So maybe start that conversation with, these are my goals. This is where I want to go in life. This is what interests me. Now, why do you want me to leave Miami-Dade College? Oh, actually, never mind. I thought your goals were different. No, that sounds good. So like I shared with you, being very clear with your communication, I think applies in this case. Somebody wants you to leave Miami-Dade College. Why? To where? How come? Do you know what my goals are? Do you know where I want to go in life? Oh, you don't? Let me share with you why. Right? So I think having that conversation is important because maybe they'll change their mind. And vice versa, you want to stay. Why do you want to stay? Do you have a plan? Who's encouraging you to stay? Why are they encouraging you to stay? Where is this pressure coming from for you to stay? Right? It's always understanding the pressures and kind of finding the truth somewhere in the middle.
All right, and I'll wrap up with this question. So as the youngest elected official in Miami-Dade County, what message do you have for our scholars about stepping boldly into opportunities before they feel fully ready?
I'm going to hold that title for as long as I can, but soon it'll be gone as I get older. So it's nice for now. But yes, you know, it is, it's incredible. Sometimes when I think about what I've done, what I've accomplished at such a young age, which is usually what impresses a lot of people, impresses me sometimes as well, is that we only have one life. And I hate to bring things back to a little bit of a dark topic of one day we're here, one day we're not, but that's really at the core what gets me fired up, what gives me that urgency of what I was sharing with you of like every day I'm after it. Oh, weekends are my busiest days of the week, open houses and so on and so forth. So I don't have weekends. I don't know what a weekend is for the last 3 years probably. I don't do them. I don't do weekends. I don't look forward to Friday like most people do because every day, Monday through Sunday is crazy for me. But I think that really stems down from an understanding that life is so fragile. Like I could go. So my plan after this is to go back home. I could go into my car, get out of Kendall campus, be driving home, following all of the laws, and get hit by a drunk driver, and there goes Anthony. That's it. Like that is a reality. That is a reality. And I could have done nothing wrong, nothing irresponsible for my end. I did everything right. I did everything I was supposed to do, speed limit, everything. But because of somebody else, my life is now ended. So that idea, and that's just one example, and we'll leave it at that, but it could be true for any one of us, various different examples. That reality, which is, please understand, that is a reality, makes me think that I never know when my last day is. And so every day I have to live it as if it were my last, but for real. Not just a cute saying that we put up on a poster, like for real. I have to give everything that I can every single day. And that's why I can tell you comfortably that if today were my last day, I'm happy. I'm proud of what I've done. If tomorrow is my last day, I'm not going to be like, oh, can I have one more week? Can I have one more year? I mean, there's a lot still that I want to do. But I think I've done a lot at 25. I think I've changed a lot of lives at 25 years old. I think I've impacted a lot of people. I think there's enough videos of me online for people to remember me by different things. So I would be content if today were my last day. I wouldn't ask for more time. And that, I think, is something really deep, a little dark, but that's really to the question, what gives me so much urgency is knowing that. So I don't take days for granted. I don't look as tomorrow's going to be a chill day. No, if it's going to be a chill day, it's going to be maybe time with my family, and that's what I would consider a chill day, something at least that makes my life worth living. But it's never like, oh, I'm just going to stay in my room for a day. I can't deal with anybody. Like that doesn't exist because that's a day wasted, in my opinion. And so life is fragile, and we have to do everything we can with everything we have to make it worth living. And I look at it this way: every time we breathe is a reminder that we still have purpose left on this earth.
And with that profound.
That was deep. I know that was a lot. I hope we can get out of that.
Thank you, Anthony, for touching on first year success, leadership and growth. You know, our students who are scholars who are graduating, transferring, continuing here at Miami-Dade College, and a little bit on your career and the impact that you're having. And we're all grateful for these 2 or so hours
Yes,
that
thank you.
you've spent with us. And yeah, you're a podcast in real life. And tonight I'm definitely gonna go home and pull up your speech and some of the podcasts that you've done. Do you have any final words for this group?
Yeah, I think final words, and then I'll share my social media with you all, because again, I post a lot of like what we talk about, little snippets, motivational things, and I'd love for you all to kind of follow me on my journey, and I'll of course follow you all back and follow you all on your journey. And please message me, DM me. I actually really do answer. Love to grab a cup of coffee with you, connect you with anybody who I can connect you with. So we'll share that now in a second. But lasting words, I think it's live with urgency, live with purpose, live with a fire inside of you. I think too many people our age, they kind of walk around like tomorrow's guaranteed. They walk around like the world owes them something. They walk around like they're just taking up space. And I don't see that. And I know that's none of you here or on Zoom, because you don't think like that. All of you are scholars, you're successful people already. But I just wanted to remind you of that. Don't be those people that are just going through life. That should not ever exist. And I know we all have situations, we all have personal problems, we all have baggage. My God, how much issues and problems have I faced in my life, and family situations. I get all of that. And all of that stuff brings us down, no doubt about it. But are we gonna just let that be our life and kind of drag those things with us throughout our entire lives? Or are we gonna do something about it and live a beautiful life and really be in the pursuit of the best version of us? I believe, and this is just more of a hypothetical, kind of easy to understand situation, that when we all pass away, we're kind of shown a video, a 1 minute clip of what our life could have looked like if we lived to the best of our abilities, if we lived the life that we were intended to live. 1 minute clip. Then a 1 minute clip of what our life actually looked like, kind of like a summary. My goal is that those two clips are identical, right? That what I was put on this earth to do is exactly what I did. My biggest fear is those two videos not matching. And so every day I'm in a quest to find, what was I put on here to do? What can I do to help my community, right? It's interesting because if you look at the time frame of the world, right, to put in perspective, when humanity began, whenever that was, to whenever it'll end, it's billions of years. But we're all here in this room, R448, today at 4:37 right now. Like, we have to do something with the time that we have right now, because we're not going to be here for much longer, and this building will probably be here long after we're all gone, right? So like, I say that to say that a lot of what we're experiencing outside of us, it's not going to change, but it's what can we do with the years that we have here on earth? How can we impact each other? And I do think a lot of happiness, joy, success really stems not from a selfish perspective of what can I get for myself, but what can I give to others? What can I give? Well, how can I make the world, my community, my school, my classroom, my friend, how can I leave it a better place? I know it's cliche, it's a little tacky, but it's really the truth. I think that's where we find happiness and joy, is in helping other people. So that's what I would say as parting words. Live with urgency, live with fire. You're all so young. You're all so young. You have so much time. And the last thing I'll say is my social media. If you guys here in person want to pull out your phones, and on Zoom land, I'll give you I usually have a QR code, but maybe I'll send that to you later to share. But real quickly, it's very simple. We'll start with Instagram. It's Anthony, Anthony. My last name, Valenzuela. V as in Victor, ALENZUELAA. There's two A's at the end. And so give me a follow there, and I will follow you guys back. And same thing on LinkedIn, Anthony Valenzuela. Okay? And go Sharks.
Go Sharks.
Go Sharks.
So this ends the formal convening, and this was our last of the year. So we started at North Campus, then we went over to West, then we went over to Wolfson. We even went over to Homestead during the holiday break. Came back at Medical Campus, and then we went over to Padron. And last month we were at Hialeah, and we ended with
really the best for last. I don't blame you.
Last,
right?
and we discovered some things in terms of how to move forward, and we're truly grateful
Thank
that
you.
you were our speaker that brought it home for us.
Thank you. I'm happy to
Yeah.
share this with you all. Somebody said Padrona's the best. That's a problem.
That's Carlos.
Carlos.
Carlos is,
Every campus is good.
Felix is at Hialeah. Joshua shouldn't you have been?
Where you at, Joshua?
Yeah, where are you? What's your, Wolfson's on top, Kendall, you should have been in the room, Joshua.
That's right, Ken. Joshua.
Mhm.
Very good.
All right.
Thank you,
so
guys. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Yeah.
Carlos, you could speak. You could definitely get off mute.
I have a background noise at home.
So you said Padrona is the best? Is that what it is? This the 10th floor?
It's a
And the
fact.
16th
It's a
floor
fact.
view of Little Havana?
Yeah, because we stand the tallest and proudest.
All right, I love the campus pride, which is what this is about, right? Ensuring that your campus has a voice, a space, in all of our convening. And I don't know if I have a favorite campus, to be honest, because all of you bring with your campuses a special touch to our program, and we're grateful for each and every one of you. So with that said, we're formally done. I'm gonna stop the record button. And yeah.